at 5:30?
Sure.
Yes?
Yes.
Oh, it's good stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get a little more into that, but JP, I'll let you start us off.
Alrighty. All right, welcome everybody. This is our last meeting for the year. And we're kind of looking forward to 2021. So we want to start off by sharing quickly a little bit about what was discussed in today in this week's newsletter. More to do about how being a coach helps us as individuals. And I wanted to start off by sharing a little bit about my experience with being a coach. And it ultimately is what keeps me going, right? So we've been doing this consistently for the entire year. At the beginning, it was in person. Now it's Zoom. So as a coach, the things that I've learned over the last 4 years are fairly significant, because I have learned many key aspects of what it's like to be someone who can continue to move forward.
That's one.
So right off the bat, the most things that I see with people struggle is about themselves, that keep them from achieving their true potential, right? So these are illusions of control. For instance, I give you an example. So as humans, we try to keep things under control. We try to predict what's going to happen. We do our best to keep things somewhat certain. And unfortunately, things don't work that way, because ultimately the only things that we can control are two things: only our actions and our attitude. That's it. We cannot control anything else besides those. And I see that often with a lot of clients over the years, is they try to extend themselves too much by having control of their lives. And unfortunately, that's not the way things happen. And I see that often. So from this view, I've been able to see and learn that things are a lot easier once we accept that truth and we can say, hey, look, all I can control is my actions or my attitude. And once you kind of begin to take that approach, things become a little easier, because, it's just hard to control the things you cannot control, right? And just being aware of this has caused me to deal with negativity a lot better. And then from my point forward, the other things that I've learned, for instance, know how to be more aware with common blind spots. For instance, we have a need to try to predict what's going to happen in the future. We get so caught up with the future and the past that we end up either having to deal with feelings of depression or anxiety. And I see that often as well in some of the clients. And what I've learned is that the trick is ultimately to break up that whole thought process and the whole pattern of ruminating and then getting caught up in that whole negative loop of thought process that doesn't let you go. It doesn't allow you to be in the present and live with happiness. So the trick is to break up those thought processes as soon as you identify them, by changing something in the environment. Either go for a quick run, a quick hike, do a little bit of reading, do something that keeps you in the present moment. And that brings me to the last lesson that I've learned over the years as a coach is, by default, our mind tends to be very negative. But once you know how to deal with these things, it makes you understand that our best place as people is when we find our place of joy. And I know the things that bring me joy. I've shared with you guys over the last 8 months. And the reason why I'm so passionate about it is because it keeps me fresh. It keeps me in that happy place. It keeps me from slipping into negative thought processes and negative patterns. And so the moment that I find myself with, by like this call to tonight, this is a source of joy for me. Just like reading, just like doing my training, doing my presentations for my main job, for my Army Reserve, for this. This is what keeps me in the moment. And that's my last lesson for you guys is find the things that bring you that joy. And that's what I've learned as a health coach. I hope that resonates with some of you guys, but I just wanted to share that. So anyways, either Juliana or Jennifer.
So for me, what's changed since I became a health coach is I will definitely say I went into this for the finances. I lost a bunch of weight really quickly, but it was more of my mindset that changed the most. The way that I react to things, learning how to build healthier relationships, and learning how to communicate. That was probably one of the biggest things is communication and all different forms of communication, nonverbal cues and stuff like this. It's helped me in my personal life. It's helped me in my home life, especially, communicating with my family. At one point, I would say that my little family was a dysfunctional family. But just over this last year, with this whole COVID thing, I've been able to sit back and reflect and be very proud of my little family because we went from that dysfunctional family to we're all operating together and, with an end goal and everybody has their part, it's not just on one person. So, I went from being paycheck to paycheck to where now I can treat myself and I remember to treat myself because you can't pour from an empty cup. And a lot of times I was always overextending myself and running myself ragged. And that was one of the things that I've learned even just this last month is, sometimes you need to take a break and take care of you. And, setting goals for myself, writing things down, making things a reality because I was all over the place before. I had no organization in my personal life. With my business life, I was on point with everything. But as soon as I walked through the door at home, everything went out the window. So it's really getting connected to what I want, not just for the moment, but for my future and the type of role model that I want to be for my kids. Because like I said, I've come a long ways. I've been a single parent. I didn't have any financial help, but, I was able to do it all on my own. And being coachable is one of the biggest things, setting your pride aside. That's another thing that I learned. And being able to take constructive criticism and feedback and not take things personal and realize that people have good intentions and they really, really just want to help you. If you can sit back and reflect and look in the mirror, and really, really be honest with yourself, these are when you can make the positive changes. It's so easy to say that you want to do something, but to actually put that into action and do it. And that's what I've learned with this. I mean, we're not perfect. We fall off the wagon every now and again, but it's really easy to get right back on track and to have a community like this to support us, with open arms, no judgment, because we all have something, whatever it is. Each of us have something. Nobody's perfect, and we're all here just to support each other and in the end have the same end goal. Again, I went into this for finances, but really got so much more out of this, and it really, really is a healthy mind. And I would always preach to Nika all the time at work. Work is very stressful, and we were able to overcome things together because we learned to lean on each other and be open with each other, and we were able to create great friendships. And I've known some of you for a very long time and some of you for a very short time, but we're here every week, and it's a pleasure getting to know everybody and know that we all have struggles, but we're here to make a better future for ourselves. And that's one thing that we need to look into. We talked about this last week when we did our vision boards. It's something you really, really want to think about going into the new year. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Juliana now.
Wow, guys, that's awesome. Like I'm sure most of you guys hearing them, you've also been seeing that as well. They're not just talking the talk, but they're walking the walk. So if we can get the PowerPoint started, JP, please. All right, guys. So for those of you that were on the 5:30 call, which is the one that the Optavia offers. The information is on the weekly newsletter. So if you ever do have a question about that and you have not reached out to your coach or your friend that invited you, it is always on your newsletter. And basically what tonight's call was about was health and hope. And that was a little bit about what you heard from Jen and JP tonight. You know, the reason for those calls is because we all come from different backgrounds. Our struggle is Optavia. We know, we have learned that it has a solution for us. So what do we focus on? Why? It's because we work on our healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy finances. And we know, we've seen it, we're living it, that when all those things start aligning, our health becomes optimal. And that's what this is all really about, guys. Next slide, please. So, you know, how Jen and JP were sharing with us some of the things that they've learned and overcome with this program is this is why we became coaches. We became coaches because we wanted to pay it forward. So why? Of course, just like, you know, when you buy a good perfume or a nice shirt or something that it's like, oh my God, it makes me feel good. I've never had this smell or whatever it may be. You want to share that. And that's exactly what's happened to most of us. And, you know, it's kind of funny how they say paying it forward. For most of us, that may be a little intimidating. Like, I don't know how to be a coach. I'm still trying to put the pieces together. But that's the great part is we don't put the pieces together and then start helping people. We put the pieces together as we are helping, because that gives us the opportunity to learn and to put it into action. I can sit here and read 9 books, but if I'm not doing no action behind it, then it's just all phony baloney. And, you know, that's the great part is every call that we get on is to help us work on our mindset, give us the proper skill set, and put us into action. So are you doing that? Let me ask you tonight. Are you, getting on these calls just to fuel yourself up, but not sharing it? Because that's kind of selfish, guys. I'm going to tell you that. It is. We got all this knowledge, all this goodness. You leave these calls like pumped up. I know sometimes I get off these calls and I'm just like, woo, because that energy, that's what happens when we decide to pay it forward. So that brings me to the next point is your success fuels us. And that's one thing as a coach that has been, not the next slide. It was just the next little point on there. When we're able to overcome small obstacles, because that's what we know this program is. It's those little small steps. It's drinking the water, 8 cups a day. That's huge, you guys. You may just say like, oh, I'm just drinking water, but my life's crazy. But give yourself some kudos. Like, man, I'm freaking one habit down. Next. Those little successes when you're complaining and like, you're not getting the results, but you're putting in the work. That's what fuels us, guys. And when you're able to see that and overcome the feelings of not being valuable enough, remind yourself, you know what? I am doing a good job. And you're fueling us at the same time. You're what keeps us motivated to be that example for you. And like I mentioned before, giving energy. It's like sometimes, when we first started these calls, I was like, man, Wednesday night, like, I just want to go watch a movie with my family. And every time I get on this call, it's just like, I'm so glad I did it. Just like going to the gym or just like cooking a new meal. It's like, man, it always seems like work. But once we start enjoying it and getting into what we're doing, being in that moment, that energy just starts lighting up the room. And of course, like we've mentioned, friendships. What an amazing program to offer that. Where do you get to go where you get to have valuable friendships? When I started this program, people say like, oh, you're like the 5 people that you're around. Holy smokes, guys. That scared me. I was like, I'm not like her. Oh no, she's crazy. Oh, him. Those are my people. Those are the people that their mind, their actions, their skill sets were a reflection of me because that's who I was associating with. So we're here not just to give you a pat on the back and say, hey, let's keep being healthy, but we're really here to work those action steps, to make those friendships, to say, I got your back. I've been there. Me and Jen, we've cried, we've screamed, we've laughed, but we've been able to grow, and our friendship has grown because of that, because we've been vulnerable around each other. We know that we've overcome those things and we haven't forgotten, but that's what fuels us, and that's what makes our friendship a better bond. And of course, community, guys, this is what we are here for. So like I said, don't be greedy, share, invite your friend, your cousin, your tia. There's all of us are stuck in our home. Don't tell me you ain't got time. We all got time, guys. And if we really want this, we can share that community with everybody. Don't be like hesitant on, maybe they don't want to go. Maybe they're praying for you. Man, I wish I had something to do tonight. I'm sick of Netflix. When you just keep watching and watching. I can't even think of the term. But anyways, we're here because this is what it's built for us. And this is why we continue to do this, not just for you guys, but for ourselves as well. So if that's something that you're interested in, talk to the person that invited you. And maybe as you're on your journey towards optimal health and you're starting to feel amazing, we can, not be scared and share this amazing gift that was gifted to us. So, all right, next. All right, guys. Hello, new year, new mindset. It's like 2 days away. Well, like 1, but whatever. So, wow, are you guys ready? Like, have you thought about this? Did you do your vision board yet? Don't lie to me, okay? Because it's your vision, not mine. So, I just kind of wanted to talk about the new year and the new mindset. What does that mean for you? So maybe you haven't thought about it yet, and we're going to give you the opportunity to do just that. So please grab a paper and a pen, run to your desk, go to your mom's room, whatever you guys got to do, your kid's room, go steal a pen. There's one somewhere, but let's all be prepared. So, I want to challenge you right in this moment. If you have not written goals, and I want to be specific with you. So I want to give you specific goals to write. I want you to write something physical. Physical means, I want to start walking 5 days a week. What days are those going to be? Don't just tell me I'm going to walk 5 days a week, but really give yourself the action that you're going to need to do that. If I'm going to walk 5 days a week, what days am I going to walk? For how long? With who? Is there going to be an accountability? Are you going to put it on your calendar? Are you sure that time's going to work every single day? Like if you're going to do Monday through Friday, make sure that you have that window of availability, because you know what I used to do, guys? Like I'm going to walk in the morning, and guess what? My morning's already filled up. I've also told myself I was going to wash dishes, make 6 calls, throw a load in, go to the grocery store. Where was I going to fit a walk-in? No, if anything, I want to sit down. So let's be realistic with that physical goal. If it's only 2 days a week of walking, but you can be consistent. And that's a key term that I want you to recognize with these goals, consistency. If you can start with 2 days, start with 2 days. Every Thursday and Saturday. I know for sure I can do that. And before you know it, you'll start building that confidence, because now it seems more feasible and it's not something that's unrealistic, something so far away, something that you just, I can never get there. You can do it, guys. And this is how we're going to do it. Baby steps. So something physical, something emotional. Maybe you are struggling with being stuck at home. You're feeling depressed. You're feeling not heard. You're feeling anxiety. I challenge you, get a book, talk to a friend, give yourself something to help you deal with that emotional baggage. You don't have to carry it on your own. One thing that I put on my goal list is call a friend every week, one new friend. I have so many friends that I would love to build a relationship with, but yet I never make the time. And then I'm saying to myself, nobody's there for me. When do I put my hand out and call them? The phone works both ways, guys. So if you're struggling emotionally, do something about it. Let's make that a goal. I'm going to deal with my anxiety every single day. I'm going to get my book out and I'm going to write about the things that stress me out so that I can say, you know what? I didn't have to do that. Why did I stress myself out when that was not a priority? Another thing that I want you to work on is relationships. Now, when I talk about relationships, it's not just like, oh, my love and my husband and my wife and my lover, you know, it's not. Relationships come in all shapes and forms, guys, just like emotional. You know, relationships for me, like with my kids, I want to start reading 15 minutes a day. So I've put an alarm, not every day. It's going to be 3 days a week to start in the evening. So after 8 o'clock, we can all sit down for 15 minutes. That's something that I feel that would help us as in our relationship, build a better bond, but also kind of at the same time, I get the opportunity to show them what's important to me. And if reading is something that I find beneficial and I want to incorporate in my family, I've got to share, guys. So you know what? Instead of telling them you find some time to read, no, we're going to find the time. We're making that time. Another one is financial. So, you know, if you're in a rut right now or you're having some difficulty in this area, write it down. Why? Is there other side jobs that you can do? Is there something you can do online? What do you want to make? What would financially make you happy? Like, are you looking for stability? Or are you looking for abundance? Because we know that with this program, we have abundance. We can have what we want. It's just a matter of getting into the action to do that. So maybe you haven't really thought about that. Like, I don't know, I'm paying the bills. We're good. Well, then you know what? This is the time to explore, dream. Because if you're on your vision board, you have a mansion house there and you're good with what you're making right now, then that is going to never come true, guys. So maybe you need to financially put some money aside. Maybe you want to redo a part of your house, or maybe you want to take a vacation. Go back to that vision board and really tell yourself, how the hell am I going to get there? Financially, we can do it if we have a plan. And physical, emotional. Hold on, I feel like I'm missing one. Mental. I am missing one. So mental can tie in with emotional. For me, what I've done as far as improving my mental state is in changing my mindset. That's kind of what I've correlated it with. So for me, that means practicing my Portuguese. And like I mentioned earlier, part of relationships, and just so happens to be my mindset, reading. So not only am I trying to read with my kids, but that's also going to help my mindset and my relationship, guys. So sometimes you could kill two birds with one stone. So, all right. You know, I hope that you have some of those down. And if you don't mind sharing. So right now that we're on the chat, I challenge you, put one thing on there that you're going to work on and you're going to make the action steps to get there. And if you don't know how, don't be scared, guys. Call your coach, call your friend. That's what we're here for. We've been there and we're doing the same thing. So maybe you can correlate, or maybe you could say, hey, you know what? I need to work on my reading. Would you work on that with me? So next slide. As you're sharing, anybody? All right, so a great way, just as how I was mentioning, now that we're trying to get that new year, that new mindset, you may have some new goals. So maybe, you know, this last month has been super crazy for you. You haven't been on any type of health program. You're just trying to get through the month. Well, connect with your coach, guys. We have a lot of different plans that can be specific for you and what you want this year. If you want to tone body, you want to lose some weight, you want to work on your mindset, come back to those goals. What do you want? Connect with your coach. Okay, we're not just here to, like I said, just, hey, give you a pat on the back, but we're also here to challenge you and really help you get the dreams going. All right, next. This one is like so important, guys. Identify your why. What the hell does that mean? Maybe you guys haven't been in your life book yet and you're questioning that. It means exactly that. Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to be a better you? You have to have a valuable reason to get your butt out of bed every day. And you know, that intrinsic motivation, that's what we have to find. This is our why. Our why gives us that, even when we're tired and we don't want to do nothing, that is our motivation. That's what says, no, hell no, I'm not going to let it get the best of me today. I got goals. I got visions. I need to get there. So, you know, for me, my family, of course, but not just my family. It's like I've mentioned before, it's building a legacy. And how does that start? I dream, you know, I've made friends. I cook healthy things. I'm incorporating all the components of my program because I am thriving to be the best version of myself. Like, I can't wait to see myself in 10 years. Like, she's going to be a cool chick. I'm just telling you guys. So I hope we're all there too. All right, next.
Before going next, there's some people that shared. I don't know if you want me to bring it up right now.
Sure. Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, so Rob wants to work on his relationship goals. And then
Hey.
Nika wants to work on her organization in her mind and her physical surroundings.
Ooh, okay.
Pretty cool.
Jen's your girl for that. Hey, and Bianca wants to learn how to get healthy. I love it. The great part is we are going to start incorporating a little lean and green for the new year coming up. So we're going to be sharing a little bit more on how to do that. All right. So you guys, this is like a real life picture. I try to use real life pictures because I really wanted you guys to understand that we're not perfect. Like, I struggle, I cry, I bitch and complain. And you know what? I'm learning that challenges are opportunities. So let me share my story with this picture. I got into 2 car accidents in 1 week last month. And then 2 weeks later, my boyfriend's car breaks down the battery and the alternator, whatever. And so it was just kind of funny because where I'm standing from is just like, oh my goodness, this is like, what's next? You know, everything's just going wrong. And it just kind of made me laugh because it's like, these are such small things. Like, this is life, guys. Like, things happen. You know, we are so reliant on material things. They're only there to last so long. So they're going to break. They're going to die out. They're going to make crazy noises. They're going to ding and dent. But the wonderful thing is if we get out of that victim mentality and use our book, and we're willing to say, you know what, I'm having a hard day, but that's okay. I'm going to look at the positive in this. What is the higher power trying to teach me? What's my lesson to be learned here? If you take that as an opportunity, it's just so much more inviting. And you know what? This was kind of cool because my boyfriend got to ride his bike to work for a week, which he's been saying, his motorcycle, he's been saying, oh, I want to ride. And the weather's been kind of crazy. And it just so happened that he got to ride, you know? So on top of all the stress that he's been having at work, it was a way for him to relieve some stress and ride his motorcycle. And, you know, for me, it's given me the opportunity to challenge myself. Like, I need to slow down on the road if I want my Tesla, right? Like, I need to pretend like I'm driving my Tesla right now. So even though, of course, we can't control other people or how dings and dents may happen, but we can control the way that we react and what we take from that obstacle. So moving forward, you know, it's been a wonderful, crazy roller coaster year. I'll just say that. But the wonderful part is that we survived. We survived. We are thriving. We're